with that manly cup he's holding, little sippy cup.
Nice. All right. All right, guys. So we are back. We are here with Cameron Fous, who is a trader, very successful trader, who has changed his path. Not only is he doing trading now and teaching trading, but he has IKNK. So you came here to feature me on your IKNK profile show, which is exciting. It was awesome. It's a great show, and it was great being a part of it. So let us know kind of how everything's going with you, man.
Good,
and welcome to Phuket.
Yeah, no, awesome to be here, man. And yeah, basically, we've been traveling all over. I've been traveling full time for 17 months, so it's been pretty crazy. He was just asking me where I live in Bali. I'm like, dude, I don't live anywhere. It's just been like constantly moving. We're going to Bangkok today. We're there for 3 days. We're going to Singapore after that for 5 days, and then back to Bali for a month. So it's been pretty crazy. But I started out fascinated by the stock market when I was still in high school. So I knew going into college that's what I wanted to be part of. I wanted to be a stockbroker, though, but at the time, I didn't know what a stockbroker really was. They're basically just salesmen who are, basically trying to earn people's trust so that they can get their money into their account and earn a commission.
Right.
And I'm not really per se a salesman or something that's not what I wanted to be. So I eventually learned that that's not what I wanted to do, but I want to be a day trader and actually make the trades, learn the game of day trading. And so I actually sold my car when I was 20 so I could have some money to start with, because you have to have capital to start trading. But I lost money for my first 3 years as a day trader. But I was learning, and I knew I had what it took. I actually became a member of a website called 3stocksonfire.com, which was actually run by these Portuguese guys that had pseudo-American names to make them look more marketable.
Yeah.
But their names were like Sergio and like something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got started in that. I did pretty well for myself, but I did lose for my first 3 years. I was just kind of trial and error. And I didn't have a mentor when I was doing it, which is a big mistake, something that I preach now to people, but I also struggle for me to find a mentor for myself, because I'm always just like winging it. And I've definitely had a lot of mistakes in my life going down that path. But basically after about 3 years, I started getting the hang of it. I started making money. I started my own website in 2006. I was doing it for free in college, just writing a blog and just like immerse myself deep into the stock market. Like I wasn't going to class anymore. I didn't really care. I was spending most of my time learning the stock market, becoming part of the community, studying, writing articles, blogging, learning everything. So I built up a pretty solid reputation. And my senior year of college, I was like, all right, do I want to be a stockbroker? I was debating selling my website. I threw it on eBay for like $2,000. This was before I started charging people. And because I was also nervous, I was just this like drunk college kid. Like, are people actually going to give me any money to turn this into a business where they actually pay for my advice or pay for my education?
Right.
And I just decided to go for it. I was actually living in Boise, Idaho at this time. And I made about $30K that month, and people just signing up for my blog that it was no longer free. And I was like, whoa, this is like real. People are actually listening to what I have to say about the stock market. I was only 23 at the time, so this was 10 years ago.
We got to start charging for this podcast.
People
just make it into a
people want to learn how to make money. That's something that's pretty consistent.
The thing is, it's to sell an education which teaches people how to make money. It's an easy sell. People want to learn how to make money. So it's a system that actually works if you dedicate yourself to it. But there's no guarantees. It's a fucking stock market. There's people are losing money left and right in the stock market. And there's thousands of people per day that want to get in this game, but they get started the wrong way. Just like I did. I just started winging it. My first trade, I went to etrade.com, signed up for an account, and bought the cheapest stock on the homepage. It's like, that's what people do because they want to buy a penny stock, but they have no idea what they're doing. So that's kind of what we try to teach people at Fous for Trading is how to get started the right way. There's no guarantee. The probability of you making money is probably pretty low. It's actually really low. But the probability of you actually maybe getting into this game and making money is going to be way higher if you start out with a plan and actually have the knowledge of a pro day trader before you ever even make a trade.
Right.
And that's the mistake most people make is they're like, oh, I'll wing it. I'll see how this goes. And this is a league, just like getting in the UFC, just like getting in the NBA or NFL. This is not something that just it's not built for everybody. You have to train hard. You have to practice. You have to go through a lot of immersive training and see if you have what it takes, because you never know unless you try.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it's been an interesting 13-year run at this game. And then to move on to what we've been talking about with IKNK and why I'm here now, just in life in general, you got to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Mm-hmm. What's the purpose or meaning behind it? And something that I think a lot of people make the mistake of early on, and especially when you're 20s, you're naive, you don't really know what the fuck you want, and you see things, especially nowadays with social media, you see cars, you see girls, you see watches, and that's what I wanted. I think that's what Norbert wants. It's young and dumb, 24, it's like that's what everybody wants when you're, you're young.
Except the girls part, right?
Yeah, except for the girls part.
I've seen your videos before.
You what? You liked it when I was dressed like a woman, huh? Like your favorite episode?
Can't deny it, right?
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
He's a good kid. He means well.
Yeah, he means well. It's just... But
we need to put a picture of him right there.
Yeah.
We'll find one of you.
We'll do a little flip. Norbert's best
on a
Instagram
milk carton.
Photo.
Is it a shout out from my Instagram?
I guess so now, huh? No.
Nah. We'll keep his Instagram.
It's a little small.
Wow.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry, go ahead.
That's our first one, huh?
Yeah. But anyways, you got to have a why behind what you're doing. And my why was money for getting into trading. Mm-hmm. And eventually that's going to turn into a lack of purpose. And that's what happened with me. And there's a reason why there's the saying, money doesn't buy happiness. And you don't realize that. Nobody knows that until you make some money and realize, like, all right, I have some money and I continue to have this money. And then you just get kind of sucked into this, snowball of just buying things. Like I had 3 cars, a boat, a sick condo, and it just Rolexes, whatever. And you just kind of get caught in this vicious cycle of just like trying to fulfill an empty void. And it's like, all right, like try to steal it. But yeah. And so I just was kind of like lacking like purpose and meaning in my life. So I wanted to do something more. And I was just like sitting there thinking, like, is day trading really what I want to do with the rest of my life? And the answer is fuck no. Like, if you want to be $1 million trader, you have to spend most of your time sitting at home alone in front of your computer. And that's not what I want to do at all. Like, I did that a lot of my 20s and I fucking regret it. There's nothing worse than regret in your life when you look back. So I'm trying to find more balance now. I only trade 3 days a week. I only put about 15% of my time into day trading. I have a full-time day trader at Fous, Mike. He's a fucking stud. He's a killer. He's banking. So I'm focusing more on the business side of things, marketing, content, and networking. In trading, you don't do a lot of networking unless you're talking with people on Twitter, which is like, you're not actually like out in the world, like seeing people, meeting people. So I can still make good money trading, but I'm also running a business. I'm doing IKNK. We're actually starting a clothing line. And I just wanted to focus on personal development and network. So I got rid of everything. I sold all my cars, got rid of my condo. I still have this watch. I've been trying to sell it on eBay for
We'll buy it from you after.
Yeah.
Well, you're a trader, right? I'll trade you this one.
Yeah, all right. That sounds like a
What
good
time
deal.
does yours say? Same as mine.
Mine's probably the
So,
we're good.
So another thing I want to say is, I don't know why you interviewed me, but I like the fact that you choose inspirational people and people who's done stuff inspirational to other people or whatever, to get inside their lives and their head and kind of see how they tick. And I think that's pretty cool. I think that's something interesting for the audience to look at these type of people, not necessarily sports figures or not necessarily any specific demographic or genre. You're looking at people who are changing the world or kind of changing people's ideas, sparking interest, and building success for themselves, which is really cool,
Yeah, no, I'm just kind of looking for, so what the profile is a show that we're shooting for IKNK. It's IKNK.com.
Clever, by the way.
Yeah.
Because, of course, IKNK wouldn't be available. So you just go IKNK.
No,
why didn't I think of that,
I kind of
dude?
came up with this idea like probably five years ago. And it was called Alpha Life Inc. And I was like, all right, I'm so sick of seeing the word alpha in people's fucking business model, So I was like, it was cool 5 years ago.
No, it still is.
But, about a year ago, I was actually in Portugal. And and I was like working on Alpha Life Inc. logos, and I was like, I fucking hate this shit. Like Alpha Life Inc. This is so gay. So I was like, all right, I got to come up with like a new slogan or whatever. So the slogan is iconic: business, pleasure, bliss. And that's kind of what the premise of the show is. In the interview is like, what are you doing successful in business? What are you doing to find a work-life balance, pleasure, and how are you obtaining happiness or striving? How are you obtaining or striving? All those three categories. Yeah. So I'm basically traveling the world, and I've been travel vlogging for about the last year and a half through all my travels. And I got kind of bored of that. It was fun when I was with my girlfriend. We traveled with each other for a year, and then it turned into just me and Norbert going on safaris together. It's like, all right.
Y'all are kind of like a couple, though.
Yeah. Basically, we live together, so it's like 24/7.
Oh, jeez, losers. God,
it's like us. So
it's ironic.
Yeah. So, okay. So I was going to go back on the trading real fast. So 3 years of failing before you made money. What kept you going? Because I like to hear these stories because everyone has had success and stuff, and you made a lot of money. You made up to $70,000 in a month, I think.
Yeah, my biggest month was $70K.
Yeah. So what kept you going? For the people that are having trouble building success, and we've all been there. I've failed so many times. I can't even list how many times I've failed in every aspect. Gym, I mean everything I've been successful at, I've failed at the same thing multiple times before I got there. So what kept you going for 3 years, losing money, to try to make money and get to the successful part?
I think the problem is in trading is that the what it boils down to in trading, your level of success all boils down to your mental capacity to actually handle the emotional state of being able to click buy and sell when you need to. So I kind of built a system, which is now called the Fous system, over the first year. That was kind of based off of some things that I was learning at this website, 3stocksonfire.com. And I had a system that I knew worked. Mm-hmm. The problem was my mind state and my fear and my greed was lacking, making it so I couldn't actually implement this system. So it really just boils down to you being able to have a system that works. But the problem is making that system actually work, because there's so much human error and emotion involved in trading. It's hard to actually implement it correctly. So I knew that I could make it work. I knew that it did work. It just took me 3 years to focus on my mind state and the psychological aspect of trading to actually do it. And I was young. I was getting drunk 5 days a week in college. So I was taking it seriously, but you know, I was taking.
I wish you'd text me then.
Yeah. So if he can do it, guys, you guys can do it.
Yeah, I was taking partying a lot more seriously over anything. I was just focusing on having fun, but I was also definitely hustling, and school wasn't doing it for me. School was more so a burden and getting in the way of what I wanted to actually do. So I think it's just like I was saying in our episode that we shot together, like my tattoo right here from Winston Churchill, it says success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm.
Right.
So I think you need confidence to live by that motto, and you have to have confidence in yourself. So I think it really just boiled down to me being confident that I knew this worked. It was just a piece of my mind state that wasn't clicking, or me really taking self-awareness that that's what it needed. That's what I needed to make this work. So that was really it, just not giving up and believing in myself. And I think that's really what it boils down to for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, and I can kind of relate a little bit. So essentially what you're saying is like you knew your system worked. It's just your mindset, like your discipline wasn't working. So you knew if you can control your discipline and not be as greedy or be more patient or whatever the case is. Because I can really, like, I got into trading kind of as a hobby, just for the exciting aspect of micro cap stock trading a while back. And then there was this biotechnology company, GLYC, and I remember you were there. I was my first penny stock trade. Like I'm obviously building up a long portfolio and stuff, but this was my first like in and out day trade. Like you know, exciting. Let's get and I was like doing a lot of research and studying up on it. And it was like May 18th of 2017. It was right before the big jump in GLYC. I guess they were waiting on FDA approval, And so there's all this hype around it. We were doing research. We were making sure it was a legitimate company. They were working on sickle cell and all that. And it seemed totally legit.
Yeah.
So if the FDA approved this, I was going to go for it. So they did. It was like $3 or $4 a share. They approved it, started jumping up. I got in at $7.88 and
so you bought in after the FDA approval?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, maybe before.
I think it was right before.
No, right after.
Right that day or something.
When we knew, when I had that good feeling that it was going to go up, like that's when I bought.
Yeah.
Because it was already headed up. So it went from like $3 to $4 up to $7.88 is when I bought. So I bought at $7.88 a share, and then it started going up, and we were just all excited. We're like schoolgirls because we were like so excited, right?
That's the stock
it worked.
market,
I mean,
man.
I can see how it works,
hyped.
right? Like for these people, and I can imagine if that's all you do is spend time working, how your program can work and help people if that's what they want to do and make a lot of money, because. So it worked, and so it was going up and going up and going up. But like you were saying, I got scared, right? Because like it's penny stocks, and it's like it's volatile, and like
it's fear.
It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. I didn't know where it was going to stop, and I got to like $11 or something like that. And
who told you to keep it though?
Yeah, he was like, no, it's gonna go to like it's gonna double, and I'm like, dude, he didn't do as much research as me, so they don't double very often. How often do they double, right?
Yeah,
how often do they double in a day?
What happened to it though?
It doubled. so I bought out. Like
That's
I sold
Bogutzki4.com.
11 something, just under 12 or something. So I made a good amount because I bought a fair amount of shares. So I made a good amount of money in a matter of like 45 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was
a pretty good cash out, right? But then it went up to like $15-16, and then to make matters worse, now I'm rooting against it because like as it was going up,
this thing go down.
Yeah, as it was going up, like it kept going up so much that I was like, man, should I rebuy and like buy more? Is it going to just keep going? And I never did because I was like, it can't go up any more than that. I mean, I must have said that 15 times.
Yeah, well.
And then it just kept going and going and going.
That's every single person.
It stayed at like 15 or 16 bucks for like weeks, and I was just like, fuck, I can't believe it. And then back, in February of this year, it was up at $25. I mean, it would have tripled. You know what I mean? Now it's down to like 16,
Can you look it up?
which is almost still $10. No, it's 16 today.
Oh, okay. You looked.
So now it's down to like, I checked it today just to see, but it was it's like 16, I think. So it dropped down, but still 16. That's almost $10. It's like $8 more than a share per share, more than I bought it for. So I can relate to that. Kind of like I could have made a boatload of money,
dude.
But because I got scared, I sold early and I left a lot on the table. Or I could have lost. I could have lost. When it possibly. I guess I couldn't have in that one. That one really worked. But there was a lot of other ones that we did that we lost, and
that was fun. Yeah, the first one was fun.
Then we lost a couple.
Losing is always great.
But I was very inexperienced, and it was just hobby. It was just fun for me. But I can see how it works. So what you're saying now is you have this guy Mike that works for you, and the system that works, and so people can sign up and then help with your system, so they can cut through all this like trial and error, like what I'm talking about, and what you had to do for 3 years.
Yeah, we offer a 90-day course called Fous Pro. You get 25 hours of online training, which is pre-recorded that I've created myself, and then it's 5 times a week where we broadcast live at the market open for about the first hour to 2 hours, and that's where all my trading goes down in the first 90 minutes. And then we also have a 3 time per week mentor class that Mike teaches as well. So it's a good dynamic because one, day trading is so fucking manic depressive. Me and Mike talked. Mike was my my student. Now he's the Fous mentor, and he was also episode 1 of the profile. We talk about this in our episode, just like the up and down of trading. Because like just on Thursday, I made like $1,400 in 30 minutes. I was like, what up? Like, and then Friday comes along.
Coconuts for everybody.
Yeah. Friday comes along. I lose like 1,600. I'm just like,
I need those coconuts back.
And I need those coconuts back, bro.
That's nuts.
So it's like
nuts, Michael.
It's a manic depressive game, and a lot of people can't handle that kind of pressure. And it all boils down to your mind state and your psychological ability to click buy and sell when you need to, and also be able to handle that loss, and understand that losing is such a huge part of this game. My win ratio is literally only 50%. So I'm losing on half my trades, but I'm managing the risk in a way that I can still make money. So if I make two $1,000 trades, that's $2,000 profit. And then I make 2 losing trades at $200 loss each. That comes out to a $1,600 gain at the end of the day, but I literally lost on half my trades. So it's all just about managing risk and being able to accept that loss. Because the only way you can lose money in the stock market is if you choose to lose.
Yeah.
Because
you can cut your losses at any time.
Because you can go into a stock, you can sell it whenever you want. So if you choose to let it get into a huge loss. You just chose to lose. And that's how people lose money, and they don't have that psychological ability to just be like, all right, this one's not working out, I'm done. We actually have a part of our training course called Cloud 9. It's literally just 7 hours of me talking about how to manage your stress in trading. So that's definitely, at the end of the day, you can look at fucking charts all day long, but it doesn't mean anything if you cannot get this shit straight up here. So yeah, it's an interesting, fun game. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate it. But yeah, you can. I just posted about this on my Instagram the other day, just about basically at Fous for Trading, we sell time, because it takes a lot of effort to actually get to the point where you can actually make money. But if you do get to that level or join the league per se, I literally only trade 90 minutes per day. And then you can go out and still make, $500, $5,000, $10,000 in a day potentially, and only do it in 90 minutes and have the rest of the day to do whatever you want. So I also look at day trading as an avenue to be able to pursue other passions in your life, but you can also make money. If I was working a 9-to-5 job, I would have absolutely zero time to start IKNK, travel the world, and interview people all over the place, So the only reason why I'm able to do that is because I run a business and I'm in a game of day trading that only takes 90 minutes of my day for the actual trading part. Obviously, there's YouTube, marketing. I got like 8 full-time employees basically that are hounding me on Slack every day with questions. So, like the day that we shot your episode, I was working an 18-hour day, 7 a.m. till 1 a.m. So I still work way too much, a lot. So I'm trying to get out of micromanaging, have Fous for Trading be a little bit more self-run without me having to be there all the time, or the physical face. I would rather have it be a brand rather than Cameron Fous is here to save the day, per se. And so I can actually focus a little bit more on IKNK as well, because that's kind of where my passion is going forward as well. And it's great to just have Mike be able to be 100% day trader, because I can't be 100% day trader. Even if I was not doing IKNK, all the workload from Fous 4, I can't 100% focus on the actual day trading aspect. So, but yeah, it's great. Yeah.
So I mean, it's cool that you're making that transition, and the way you're shooting IKNK is cool. I really like the videography.
Yeah, that's Norbert over here. So it's actually,
but how you're shooting it, the way you shoot it, the style, it's real exciting and cool and fresh and new and modern, and you're bringing out a lot of personality in these people that you're interviewing.
Yeah, so it's just something that nobody else is doing, and a thing that I just learned recently is something called a VRIN score. It's value, rarity, imitatable, and non-substitutable. If you can work that into a business model, you're going to be ahead of everybody else. So I'm trying to think of ways to do that with the profile. One, people are doing like podcasts or interview shows, but are they doing it in a way that they go shoot a 10 to 15 minute vlog of an activity in some place all over the world, and then transition to an interview like we did at your gym? But previously, just before this, I took this streetwear model, Johnny Edlin. He's got 1 million followers on Instagram. We rented a catamaran boat in Bali, took it out to Nusa Penida, went and swam with stingrays, shot a 10 to 15 minute vlog for that, and a really cool high production value video. And then we shot the interview on the boat in the middle of the ocean. So it's definitely something that nobody else is doing. And it's not very imitatable. Like, not a lot of people have the resources or the time or availability to do that. So I think it's a really brilliant way and idea of how we're producing the show. So it's been super fun, and I'm definitely looking forward to more episodes going forward.
Yeah, I wanted to thank you for having me on, like, right after you had on a model that has 1 million followers on Instagram. It's awesome to have to follow that. But no, it's really cool. And then, yeah, like you said, so you're spending a lot of time in Bali, and I spent a lot of time in Indonesia. I spent like 2 months in Indonesia, traveling around and stuff. So how's life in Bali? Like,
dude, it's like the best. Like, I was just in LA for 3 months before this. I'm from San Diego, lived there for 8 years. Just the quality of life, the food, the workout establishments there. If you want to get healthy, eat right, work out, and be around just a really good positive vibes, there's no better place than Canggu, Bali. So I'm looking actually at property there right now to potentially buy a place, and kind of make it home base. I was thinking LA would be that place, but after spending 3 months there, I'm like, nah, I think I'm good. SoCal, I've been there for a long time.
Is it called the Old Man or something there?
Old Man.
Chingu, I went there.
Yeah. It's kind of a grimy
place.
bar.
Like,
people go get wasted.
It was just a billboard there. They said it was real famous, and it said the Old Man or something. I took a picture in front of it or something.
Yeah, it's a beach bar right on the beachfront. I'm about to belong.
Okay.
Yeah.
I won't remember that, but
no, it's super grimy.
I love like they have, like you said, the health food there so good, and they have all those quinoa bowls, man. That was like my thing when I was fighting. If you remember, avocado, quinoa, chicken. I would just like make like
yeah. The thing is, like people are like asking me about it. I'm like, dude, the food is so great there, but I'm not talking about Balinese or Indonesian food in any way, shape, or form. I hate the Balinese food. It's nasi goreng, super greasy, fried rice and egg. But there's so much Australian influence there.
Yeah.
It's just all super healthy, legit, organic food, and that's kind of like what I strive for when I eat. Like here in Phuket, I'm like, dude, there's fucking nothing here to eat. But
it's growing, and there's certain places here in Phuket that have like a lot of healthy food, like the Wee Cafes and the Contender Cafe at AKA Thailand.
The Contender Cafe, that's definitely the healthiest meal I've had so far here.
But it's growing.
Yeah.
But the demographic in Bali is like, I think the difference is the demographic in Phuket is more fight oriented.
Yeah, my friend
Bali
actually called this
CrossFit, like fit and like healthy oriented.
My friend has said is like there's so much white girl brunch out here in Bali, and that's basically what it is, like Instagrammable white girl brunch.
He says if I had $1 for every time he said that.
White girl brunch. I've never stringed those 3 words together.
Have you ever even said brunch? You know what that is?
I don't even know what a white girl is. So no.
All right, cool, man. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then after that, we'll get into Thailand, your experience in Thailand, and you did a little training at AKA Thailand.
Yes, sir.
So we'll get a little into that. So in the meantime, we'll show you what AKA Thailand looks like, because they are our sponsor right now.
What's up, everybody? I am here in Thailand. This is the first time I've ever been here. Been dying to come here for years. The great Mike Swick, he's one of the big reasons he's been trying to pull me down here. What he built down here, AKA Thailand, is incredible. There's people here from all over the world. You can train mixed martial arts here, jiu-jitsu. They have weightlifting, they have cardio, and obviously they have Muay Thai, boxing, everything. I'm telling you guys, I know everybody wants to go to Thailand because Thailand's so cool, but you can't come to Thailand without coming to AKA Thailand. Come on.
All right, so so you've been at AKA Thailand doing the profile and doing the interview with me, but you also got to train. So what was that like? Because I trained with you, and I'm doing a lot of strength and conditioning right now. I've been traveling a lot. I've been gone for like a month, traveling all over and stuff, London and America and stuff. So I'm not in the best cardiovascular shape, you know, more so just strength and conditioning. So we had a nice little workout.
Yeah,
that was a push.
It was awesome. Like at first, first I did your Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Which was super awesome. Like I'm actually like Googling Bali Muay Thai to like get into it because I actually had a fucking blast doing it. But yeah, so first of all, that was super hard. Just like the cardio intensity of this, like kicking a bag 10 times. I never would have thought that'd be so hard just to do it 10 times in a row after like going through all these sets. So I actually really, really enjoyed Muay Thai and kickboxing. And I was already like beat from that. And then I'm like, shit, I was
resting. I was just like relaxing. I'm like, I know Airdyne's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get tired. Yeah, they'll bring you up there and show you what the fighters do.
Yeah, for sure. So going through that at first, and then it's like I'm trying to like kind of like walk away from the trainer guy. Like, all right, I'm just doing a little warm up here. I got to go do Airdyne, and he's like, no, you come back. Like, I'm just like, oh man, I'm like gonna die before I even. I
forgot to tell him he was leaving.
Yeah. I don't know we had a Mexican trainer either. No, come back. Jeez. So you did the pro one though. That's pretty impressive, huh?
Yeah. So we went and I cut out early from the Muay Thai, and then went up and did the Airdyne Pro thing with you. And yeah, it's a grind, dude, for sure. Doing 30 minutes straight of working out, and I'm used to that kind of workout, like hit sessions and stuff. Like, so it was definitely hard, but like it was something that I could like keep up with as well. Like I was doing this one in Cape Town, South Africa. I was in there for 4 months, and there's this class called Sweat 1000. So it's 60 minutes of going back and forth from the treadmill to body weight workouts on the ground. And that was probably like one of the best shapes I've ever been in my life, doing that consistently. So, but yeah, this was a super badass workout. Your gym is like next level. Like I'm looking at the gyms in Bali for like Muay Thai, and I'm like, man, this is such a downgrade.
Thanks, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
What do you think of the staff there? Pretty good staff.
No, it's super cool. Everyone's super nice. Definitely looks like you've built a strong community of people there. Like just not only
helps out a little bit.
This guy's man behind the scenes, a sidekick.
No. You only called me sidekick 14 times. I changed my name to Norbit.
Straight TM.
And then I'm buying a rope.
Yeah. Just carry around a camera with you all day.
Gimbal. That thing looks too heavy. I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah, these guys got all the equipment. So we actually did have. So I brought back a lot of equipment from LA because I want to start getting into more production stuff.
Yeah.
And you guys had the GH5 just like I brought in. So thanks for the help on teaching me. These guys have
Setting
all
up
the
the
sickest
vlog.
equipment. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's hectic having to carry all this shit around. Like even just like I try to stay like at least a month in most places now, and like we're only here for like 4 days. Had to get all our stuff out. Now just putting it all together. It was we packed for like 3 or 4 hours. Like,
You know,
But also, like, we usually lose a bunch of stuff. Like, not a bunch, but we, you know,
Always
lose a
leave.
microphone here and there and be like,
Yeah, I'm not going to go get it.
let's go.
yeah.
You know, it's only $12 to change your flight if you don't want to fly to Bangkok today.
Yeah, I mean,
There's nothing in Bangkok.
The thing is,
I got
it
a
would be
date.
$12 for that, and then we need to pay an extra like $200 or $300 an hour luggages.
yeah, it cost.
They got a ton of stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Just
they
so
got
much-
like 6-8 bags.
I paid like almost $300 for our baggage just to get here,
Damn.
plus the flights.
So getting back to real fast, getting back to Iconic. So in the long run, like say 5 years from now, where do you see Iconic being? Like you're obviously gonna be doing interviews and stuff, but you said you want to do a clothing line. It seems like more of a lifestyle brand.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years with this company?
It's a good question. Right now I'm semi lacking clarity on exactly what I'm going to do. And if you watch, I always reference my other profiles. That's why I love this show, because I'm always learning something new from these people that I'm interviewing. Peter Voogd, who I actually went to high school with, he was like, one of the biggest things you need as an entrepreneur is clarity about exactly what you're doing and exactly what your goals are. And that's, I have an idea, but I'm not like 100% clear on what I'm doing. But the plan is to eventually monetize it. So I talk about this in the Iconic promo video that we did. You know, people ask me all the time, like, oh, if you're so good at trading, why do you run a business teaching people how to do it? So my biggest month in trading, I made $70,000. I made $100,000 that same month selling my product on how I actually did that. So I want to teach people how to run businesses online, because I've been doing it for over 10 years. So that's one of the ways I'm going to monetize through Iconic, is also help influencers, help people who have social impact, how they can actually monetize that through selling a digital course. If you have something good to say, or if you're an expert or in any way, shape, or form, you can monetize that through digital courses and use digital marketing, such as branding on YouTube, funnels, to actually sell those products. So I'm going to create products at Iconic, same way that I sell the Fous Force system, but to help people actually make money online so they can have more time and freedom to do other things that they love, or have money to continue to do what they love. Like Iconic, this costs a lot of money to be able to travel around, you know, set up things to do the show, whatever, travel, hotels, all that stuff. That's not cheap. So I need to monetize this and actually, you know, to actually make it go forward. But right now we're just trying to build eyeballs, trying to get the attention towards it, and go with that. And I also want it to be something, it's going to be a lot of meaningful content, helping people find their purpose, find their passion, stray away from going down the wrong path, similar to what I feel kind of like I did. Like my why was money in the beginning, and that's why I think I ended up being fucking miserable with all these fucking toys and just ended up getting rid of it all. So that's kind of like what the premise of IKNK is kind of helping people change their lives in a positive way, or inspire them to change something negative in their life, to drop it. And a lot of people have problems with that. If they're stuck with in a relationship, stuck with a job, they have such a problem with making that transition or just that concrete decision, like, fuck this.
The fear of change.
Yeah, you know, like, this, I'm not happy. Like, then stop. And people have issues stopping because they're inside of their comfort zone. And one of the things that I want with IKNK is to help people get out of their comfort zone, because that's where growth and change happens. And people have such an issue of taking the steps to get outside of their comfort zone.
So when you had all the money from trading and you were buying all this stuff, I saw the videos, obviously.
Yeah.
You were living the life and doing all this stuff. Was that more rewarding, or was it more rewarding, or I guess fun, now being able to travel and do this IKNK and have that freedom to just kind of do as you want and go where you want and set interviews up with cool people and kind of network out more?
So all the trading videos, all of that stuff, there was the purpose behind all that was to create a persona that could sell product. And that's where it was kind of eating away at my soul. Like, okay, what could we do to create some image or persona to hype up trading, to sell a product? And I got to a point where I was just like, I don't even know who the fuck I am anymore, because I'm creating this persona online who is actually not who I am as a person and not who I want to be. And I have people thinking that this is who I am. It's almost like, you know, you can act in a shitty movie, or you can be the villain in a movie and have people hate you, but it's at the end of the day, you're just acting.
Yeah.
In a sense, I was creating this persona as this Dan Bilzerian kind of douchebag guy, like doing all this stuff, which some people look up to that. But for me, that's not something I see on the internet and look up to that at all. But that's who I was becoming. And I was like, all right, I got to fucking just reset everything, because this is like, I wasn't happy. And I was just like, it was all boiling down to doing things for money, and just coming to the realization that money is not what fuels me. And so, yeah, it was a big transition. This all happened, you know, kind of within the last 2 years. I met a girl who moved in the day we met, and then we started traveling together for 13 months. And so that was kind of where all of this kind of started changing for the better in my life.
Hold on. The day you met her, she moved in?
I didn't know if I heard that. I thought maybe I had some earwax.
Wait. You got to stop and explain that right here.
I'm not one to throw up red flags or anything, but
It's even better than that.
I don't want to say she was clingy. I don't know this girl, but
No, so
yikes.
she's from Medellin, Colombia. But she is also a dual citizen. Medellin. Yeah, it's Medellin.
Medellin?
Yeah.
Is it the same Medellin that Escobar?
Yeah.
Medellin.
Medellin's when you don't sell coke.
Oh, okay. Medellin is when you sell coke. Okay. I spent all night watching Sicario, so I'm like kind of getting back into this whole cartel thing.
Yeah. But no, so we met on Tinder, and I'm just like,
Oh, this is a great story.
This is great.
yeah. No, but honestly, she's like one of the best people I've ever met, and she changed me for like in such a positive way. But yeah, anyway, so we meet on Tinder. We like kind of shoot the shit for like a couple weeks, and then finally like we got on a date. We go to yoga. I take you to this little secret cave like in La Jolla, because I was living
The
in
secret caves always work. There's so many around Phuket. That's where it's at right there.
And yeah,
secret
so
cave.
anyways, like she'd already been traveling full time for 2 years, just nomad life, like cruising. And so she comes over back to my place. Like, we're just totally hitting it off. And my mom just so happens to be coming into town that day as well. So she meets my mom. And then, like, we have, like, this big, like, friend get-together at my house that my roommate organizes. So literally it's just, like, she's just immersed in my life, like, on day one. And she ends up staying over that night. She actually just tried to leave at, like, midnight. She goes to her friend's house where she was staying. The door is locked. She can't unlock the door, and her friend's asleep.
Sure.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, maybe. And then so she comes back and then ends up staying over. And because she's traveling full time, she didn't really have a home or anything to stay. She just ended up staying with me. And then the rest was history. And then we traveled for 13 months together after that.
So it changed everything.
Yeah. And she was the first person that I had met in a long time that actually, like, accelerated who I wanted to become,
That's
rather
important.
than
That's really important.
for sure.
Honestly,
I think
you need a partner that like can push you forward instead of hold you back.
Oh yeah, like if you're with the right girl, like they can definitely boost your level of success.
Right.
So in the beginning, it was like that, but after a while, especially if you're with somebody for 24/7, kind of like me and Norbert now, we're going on like 8 months.
Did he move in the day you met him on Tinder?
Yeah, basically, it was Grindr.
Yeah. Oh. It was a roulette one or whatever it is.
Yeah, but no, it's crazy, dude. Like, if you're traveling with somebody for 13 months, like we were together 24/7, 365, and there's never a point where it was like, hey, I'm gonna go like hang out with my bros. I'm gonna be back. I'll see you later. It's like, hey, I'm going to work. I'll be back. And like, there's never a point where you're like, oh, hey, how was your day? It's because every day was with that person. So we became way too reliant on each other, especially when you're bouncing around, because we were traveling full time all over the world. I was vlogging. We were doing like luxury hotel stuff. I woke up one day and then got an email from Playboy, and I'm like, wait, is this really Playboy? Like, what is this? And they're like, hey, we saw your vlogs that you're doing with you and Sandra. Like, we want to start this show called Finer Things, which is a luxury travel show, and we'd love to have you be the host. And I was like,
oh shit,
whoa, this is kind of fucking crazy. And then I'm like, Sandra's sleeping. We're actually in Massachusetts at our mom's house. And I'm like, hey, I just got this email from Playboy. They want us to host this show. And at first I didn't think she was going to want to do it, because we were also having kind of issues at this time. Like basically I'd been working so hard. We rebranded Fous for Trading, and she was kind of more so she was basically on Cameron Fous's boat. It wasn't like, oh, we're like riding jet skis next to each other. Like, this is great. Like, we both have our own thing. It was more so like, she's like on my boat. Like, we're going here. You're coming. She didn't really have like, kind of her own thing going on. I think that's why it didn't really work out in the end between us. Anyways, but so Playboy hits us up, and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. And so they want me to be the host of this show. So we shoot 3 episodes, 2 in Colombia, and then we do the 3rd one at the Playboy Mansion, the last part they did before Hef passed away. But it wasn't actually that fun. Like, we got paid and everything paid for. We did one in Colombia. We were already down in Colombia. They basically just wanted to rebrand my YouTube as Playboy, but I couldn't post anything on YouTube anymore. It was going to be their show, whatever. But it became to the point where it was no longer my show. They were kind of telling us to change the way I shot and filmed my vlogs. And now also, being that Sandra is a paid part of this thing, now she's putting her input onto the show. So now me and her are butting heads about what we should be doing. So it was actually way more fucking stressful than anything. But we did some cool stuff. We got this like dope hotel in Colombia that we shot an episode at. Then we had this private island.
Dope hotel? No, aren't they all dope hotels?
Yeah, in Colombia, it's like
that's a drug joke, Norbert.
You got that?
So you're saying the party at the Playboy Mansion wasn't great?
It's
you would assume that would be for guys. That would be the ultimate.
It's not what they used to be at all, for sure. I think my girlfriend was the hottest girl there by far. So there wasn't
Sandra,
like.
what? Did any of the women there
Facebook?
ask about the Real Quick with Mike Swick podcast by any chance?
They're all wondering, but no, it was kind of this.
I'll take it.
It was cool, but it was definitely underwhelming, I would say. Like, we were shooting an episode there, so like it was kind of weird. Like, we had a camera team following us around with like all these like people just like staring at us like, what are these people like doing? But yeah, it was cool. I mean, I'm glad I went and did it, but it was not like even all the people, like the people that I was working with that worked at Playboy, like this is not what it used to be. Like the lady who was the producer of our show used to be a playmate, and she's probably, I think, like 40s or 50s now, her age. And so,
well, there's a new Playboy Mansion in LA now.
Is there really?
Not by one of the guys you seem to not like so much. Dan Bilzerian just bought. I was just back in LA. He just bought $100 million house.
So crazy, dude. He was just posting those videos on Instagram or whatever.
I went there. I actually went. Yeah.
Oh, really? Did you go to that party?
No. But I went to his house like the next night.
Yeah.
But yeah. So going back to him real fast, I want to ask you a question. So he was quoted one time as saying, I think it was on the Joe Rogan podcast, that because I think Joe asked him something like, if it was Joe, I hope I'm not wrong, you have the money, the women, all this kind of stuff. Can you buy happiness with money? And he was quoted as saying, you can buy pleasure, but you can't really buy happiness. Do you agree with that?
I mean, it depends on what you're classifying as pleasure, I guess. I mean, you can
like short-term happiness.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, what you can buy girls, pleasure. You can buy cars. You get short-term high pleasure from that. You can buy a vacation, pleasure from that. So, I think it really just boils down to, so here's my 3 pillars of happiness: passion about what you're doing, your relationships, and being in the sunlight. I think if you're missing any 3 of those things, I think you're missing out on your potential to be truly happy. Right. So, like, honestly, when I think back, I think one of my happiest years I've ever had was when I was 23 and I was a bartender in Boise, Idaho, which is like, people are like, okay, I didn't have money then. And I'll bet what my life was so great because, one, bartending is super fun. I was passionate about it. I loved it. Like,
girls like bartenders.
Yeah, I loved doing all the flair and like just like being like the.
That's why I did it till I was 33.
30-year veteran over here.
Yeah. And so.
Am I 60? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Mike interrupted.
Are you 60? You're 60. You look great for 60. Bro.
Well, I appreciate that. Still look younger than Mike.
But yeah, so I was passionate about bartending. It was super fun. And I was also part of a big community. So there's a guy named Ted who owned 3 of the top bars downtown Boise. And so if you work at one of them, you're part of this big family of people. So my relationships with just interconnecting with people, and also being that I was in a scene where I was constantly interacting with people, making really good friends who I worked with as well. My relationships were good. Also, it's always sunny in Boise. And so it's just, I had the 3 pillars that I think you need to be happy when I was in Boise. So when I look back, I feel like that was probably the best year of my life as far as just my personal well-being of being happy. So,
if you know, I got to ask, when I think of hot nightlife spots, Boise doesn't immediately jump out at me. So, I mean, is it like the Dairy Queen or something? Like everybody just meets up and has one beer and talks about potatoes?
So there was a place that I worked at called Main Street Bistro. It's like a big college bar. There's probably maybe 4 or 5 bars, so 12 bartenders on staff. You could.
Holy shit! I bet the cop came out there every night.
No. Boise is actually, it's funny because
the whole police force is.
People always like kind of like dog on me, like when I say like, oh yeah, I lived in Boise, Idaho. It was probably one of the best years of my life. But it's a good nightlife. There's actually like, and it's okay. So like you think like Texas. What do Texas girls look like? Blonde, big boobs.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Good.
Great.
Yeah, it's similar.
Unfortunately, they're amazing, yeah.
Yeah, it's similar to Boise. There's a lot of smoking hot girls that would be running around. It was usually bartending. The new cocktail waitress would come in. Who was the new cocktail waitress? Then all the bartenders are like, all right, who's going to bang this chick? So it's always just
I never slept with a coworker.
Yeah, I maybe.
I left before I fell asleep.
I maybe did that more than a handful of times, but it was...
Yeah, it was pretty easy back then. Early 2000s, late 90s.
But yeah, but obviously that lifestyle is not sustainable. No. You know, I finally was working on my Fous trading business at that time as well. And what was great, but also a downfall of working in Boise, is we were allowed to drink. So literally I would get shit-faced every day of the week that I was working. And then my 2 days off, I would go out and drink as well. So it was...
Did you ever go drink at the bar you worked at?
Yeah, all the time.
Isn't that horrible? You have 2 days off and you go drink at that same time.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, dude. Oh, man. It was great. But it was super funny. But
could have just pointed at the clock.
Never just wrote time.
So is this your first time in Thailand?
No, I've actually been here a bunch of times. So last year I spent a month and a half in Koh Phangan, or Koh Phangan. How do you say it?
Koh Phangan.
Koh Phangan.
Medellin.
Yeah, so I would say Koh Phangan is a lot more similar to like Canggu, Bali. It's a little bit more like low key. Like there's a lot of white people there that are just kind of like chilling Zen people. Like it's like a yoga community with like healthy food, which is kind of like what I also look for as well. I'm a pretty big advocate of yoga, even though I haven't done it once since I've been in Bali. But
last time I see you do yoga was in Cape Town.
No, I was doing it in LA. But in LA, yoga is like turned into like super hyped up. I was going to this place called Sweat Yoga,
Yeah.
and it was like loud, hyped up music, and you got fucking weights, and so and hot. So it's not like a Zen, like, you know, centering myself. It's more of a workout. But I like both. I think yoga can definitely, I think it's a lot of it also, if you do hot yoga, it's like heat therapy plus stretching. So it's just like a mental and physical release.
Right.
If you're like stressed out, yoga would always be like an outlet for me. And if you're in trading, you need an outlet to be able to get yourself back to center. If you have a really shitty day, like it takes a day, a week sometimes to recover, sometimes a month. Like, so you got to have an outlet, and yoga has always been an outlet for me.
Cool. So let everybody know how they can follow you on your social media, your website, IKNK. And when will this profile be actually ready to go and uploaded, do you think?
Yeah, so my
about
Instagram is instagram.com/Cameron.Fous. That's Fous. That's where I'm most active on a regular basis, on Instagram. That's probably where I have the most like fun, just daily like posting stuff.
Right.
And then our YouTube channel is where we post all of our the profile episodes, youtube.com/Cameron Fous. And I would say probably 2 weeks max for our episode that we just shot.
Okay.
Hopefully a week. We'll see. We're going to
If
Bangkok.
you're not doing it in a week, we'll post this at the same time, put the link at the bottom and everything, so we can people can actually see the.
Died, so I had to copy everything over last night and copy back and stuff. So we have technical difficulties.
We had a few technical difficulties. So if you're watching this and it gets posted before the profile, my episode, check back, because what I will do is when the profile comes out, I'll put the link in the actual YouTube podcast.
Okay, yeah.
So you can actually come check it out. It's really cool the way you do this, the show, and then you'll learn a lot about kind of my story and how I built this gym and all this stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Did you mention me?
No,
not one time.
No, but you did go get some technical stuff for us.
You got us a screen.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure I'll get.
It's actually in the. I'm coughing on you. We have behind the scenes video that your guy filmed of that whole entire conversation.
Oh, nice.
It's actually pretty funny.
The luggage weighs like 10 pounds less.
Yeah, we're like, we have a lot of room. Like, all right, we're good.
I didn't take anything.
Check his pockets.
Well, cool, man. Well, thanks for being a guest on the show.
Yeah, dude, this is my first podcast. So
yeah,
shit.
So we have you and Mickey Rourke, or was their first podcast. So Mickey Rourke's first podcast was with us, and now you. So
what was that like interviewing him?
Mickey Rourke?
Yeah.
It's cool, and I actually, when I went to LA just this last time, was the first time I actually met him in person. And
is he tall? Short?
Yeah, he's a pretty big guy.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a pretty big guy.
Mickey Rourke, that's the guy who was just in the Iron Man movie, right? It's the villain, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and he Sin City.
Yeah.
And The Wrestler was his big comeback role. But I mean, this is a guy who was the lead in Hollywood for years. For at least 2 or 3 years, he was like the main man, the main star of Hollywood. So he's a really cool guy, and it was a good podcast. And it was cool that he did it for us, because he's never done a podcast. He didn't have to. He does big stuff. So it was cool. So we did 2 firsts now. It's awesome.
Awesome.
So we always do a little.
Yeah.
Good job.
Boom.
And, thanks for being on the show. And check out all the links in the bio, Norbert. And
fuck this guy.
Thank you. How can the people find you on Tinder? What's your name on there?
I changed it to
ComeLiveWithMeInOneDay.com.
I'm trying to start a new website. I've always actually wanted to marry a girl named Cameron so that we can both be Cameron Fous. It's so one day in my head I decided, what if I started a reality show called Searching for Cameron? And I'd like travel the world finding all the hottest Camerons out there.
There you go.
Well, I know what he's changing his name to. Got that covered.
Edlin.
Yeah. Cameron Edlin Fous.
Yeah.
So he specified he wants it.
You'll give it your best shot. I know you'll try. Sizing me up.
All right, guys. I know you guys got to go catch your flight.
Yeah,
I appreciate you coming in here.
Like 20 minutes. So
you're almost late. So I appreciate you coming in here and doing the podcast on such short notice.
Hell yeah, dude. Pumped.
And doing it. So thanks. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, bro.
All right, Cameron Fous.